Hey guys, the Quarantine here. I'm about to show you how to make a Cybergate version 1.04.8 server. In my opinion, Cybergate will probably have to be the best the best free rat on the net, because it's the most stable one, and unlike Cerberus, it doesn't have as much dependencies, so people can download it. You don't have to worry about them not having a .NET framework that they need to download, because usually that'll happen. Alright, anyway, when you download it, open it up. You can download from hackforums, which is what I recommend, because this is where I got this Cybergate from. Is from a guy, I forget his name, but it's a guy in hackforums with really high rep, so I know it's not infected. You don't have to download from the link in the description, but this is what I'm putting in there. You can just look on hackforums with Cybergate version 1.04.8, and it's probably going to be in a tutorial somewhere. Look for someone with really high rep and you'll do good. If I can find a link, I'll put it in the description. Alright. When you open it up, make sure that antivirus is disabled, Windows Firewall disabled, or you can just add an exception for Cybergate, whatever you want to do. Go to Control Center, click Start, then you're going to go down to Options and select Listing Ports. Alright, taught you guys how to port forward. I'll make another tutorial just on how to port forward and stuff, so you guys know everything and what can go wrong and troubleshooting and all that. We're going to port forward. If there's anything here, just delete it, and then port forward pretty much whatever you want. For Cybergate, I think the protocol that you need to port forward for is TCP, because if you put it on UDP, it's not going to work. So I'll show you what I'm talking about now in a minute. This guy's lag, by the way. He spent like 5 hours looking up porn. It's fucking embarrassing. Okay. Type in your home address. I'll make the port forwarding tutorial. I'll also show you that if you don't know. You're gonna go to Apps and Gaming if you're on Linksys. Make sure the end is what your whatchamacallit, IPv4 is, or whatever internet you're using. Make sure the last 3 digits are here. Make sure these two match. If it's 0.1, don't forward it. Or if it, sometimes it does. It depends on your router, but you're probably gonna have connection problems like midway through. Make sure it's TCP. Make sure you forward 2 just in case. Alright. Make a connection password. I'll make mine something like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that right? Yeah. Save. Then you're gonna go to, this is optional, but if you wanna get your make sure your no IPs like updated, you can go make a new IP and just type in your username for that no IP account, your password for your no IP account, and whatever host name you want to use this for. And then you can switch to auto detect, and I'll put whatever your host IP is. Just auto detect is easy. Then if you're on DNS, then put DNS. If you're on no IP, update. If the information is correct, it should say DNS hostname update successful, and it'll keep your no IP updated so you don't lose slaves due to IP changing. Now, we dump that, go to Builder, Create Server. I'll make a new one called Test. You can name anything you want though. Highlight it, push forward. For this, delete what's there and add your no IP. Make sure it ends in .biz. And then semicolon, that's very important. And then whichever the 2 ports that you forwarded in the select listening ports. Then for identification, this is what your slaves are going to be seen as. Since they're slaves, I'm gonna name them my host. Password. Make sure it matches the one in select listening port. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Go to installation. For the best thing to do for installation directory is go to just click system. And for directory, you can leave it as install if you want to. It doesn't really matter. And for file name, the most used way is csvchost.exe. Then make sure it injects into the default browser. Alright. So when they open it, it's like it shows up as their browser itself, like in the task manager. I'll show you guys when I run it. Make sure all these 4 are checked and click this about 5 to 10 times. For this part, click persistence, high file, change creation date, and uncheck melt file. These are the best things you can have, but you don't have to have these 2. This is probably a must because if your server is modified or deleted in any way, it'll just come right back. So, cause this guy up here, this guy tried to he found my server, I think, cause he was in this he was around the folder or dangerously close to the folder where my server was, and he couldn't find that, I guess. So he tried deleting his whole system folder. Where I forget where. I think it's in his C drive. I forget. It's on Windows 7. But he tried deleting his whole folder that had my server in it, and I don't know what happened, but like I lost him for like 2 seconds, and then I came back, and his folder was gone. So it was pretty much a waste of his time, but it will come right back in the registry. So these are the best settings, because these 2 actually they bypass an antivirus, so that's best. If you're gonna be crypting, it doesn't really matter in the end, but yeah. For mutex, just click this about 5-10 times. Go to message. You normally want to display a message because it kind of alerts them that it probably wasn't what you said it was gonna download. So this kind of raises suspicions. You can display a message if you want to, but if you do, make sure it's like perfected and that you test it. Keylogger, you can just leave this as it is. Anti-debug, if you're crypting, uncheck all, because about 95% of cryptors do not support this. Okay, they don't. If you're not going to be crypting, just check all. Create server. This bypasses an antivirus, so you can have this checked if you want. I don't really like having it checked because I usually change it anyway. And look over everything. If it's good, everything you want. Don't see any problems, click create server. I'm going to save this as test1.exe. Save. Then you want to go back to where you saved your server. And if you do it right, you should pop up with a little sound, kind of. And your home IP should pop up around here in a few seconds. Cybergate usually takes a little while for you to like infect yourself because it injects into your default browser. So usually you get a non-responsive error message if you're because it injects into your default browser. Once you get this message right here, you'll like sector that, and you pretty much do like anything for them. I'm not gonna use myself as an example because I have a server. So make sure you start yourself, because the only thing you're affecting yourself is the server. So that means you port around everything you just uninstall. And the cool thing about Cybergate is it doesn't come back. Like Source does, if you uninstall you'll most of the time you just come back. It sucks. Go to you can right click him, anything you want. I've already got this guy's Facebook, his MSN, his whatchamacallit. It's like poker thing. But you can see all their programs and stuff. You can even like uninstall some shit. But if the uninstallation is normal, then that means you're gonna see it and they're gonna know something's up. You can see their active ports. You can see which port you're using, your server's using, and you can see what the process name is. And since I injected into the default browser, it comes up as Firefox.exe, which is what he uses. So he's not gonna try and delete it. Even if he did, it'd just come back. Now you can chat with him. I wouldn't recommend that because it's obvious that you're there. You need a webcam catcher, keylogger. I pretty much got everything that he goes into, like his MSN. He types. I don't know why he doesn't just save it. No, that was his Facebook right there. And his MSN. Well, I actually changed the password and all that to that already because I felt like being a dick. Anyway, you can pretty much get anything you want with this. You can look up their you can go to File Manager and you can search the files. You can look at what they've been into. You can look at your desktop, look at what they've recently. It's really neat. See, he's been in his system folder. I'm gonna go through there. And most of all time, remote desktop. It's gotta be this feature. So guys, this pretty much concludes tutorial. If you have any questions, comment. If you need help setting this up, don't free to hesitate. Feel free to just post some. My bad. Just feel free to post, and I'll help out the best of my ability. Alright. Later, guys.